Hello. Um, I made a mistake in the last episode. Um, the story I quoted, the text, was written by Derek Prince, not Smith Wigglesworth. Please forgive me. Now back to my story. After this big mistake, the pastor from our church started to help us with the marriage crisis. And he arranged us a meeting. I was hurt, broken, and so was my wife. But that wasn't all. Something was wrong with her. She was completely numb. It's really hard to explain, but if you've seen on TV a person who's hypnotized, that's how she seemed to be. Somehow, something like the shell of the person was my wife's, but something inside was wrong. But I had enough work with myself to deal with my emotions and disappointment and to face the naked truth about myself. God made me see my life, my actions, things I've done and left undone, lack of love, mercilessness. And this picture was not very nice. I cried for my sins, asked my wife to give me another chance, and begged her to forgive me. But instead of forgiving me, she was merciless, just like I was with her before. She told me that she will leave me. And I found it really unfair. Because of this one mistake I did, she would throw away all the good times we had together. I also found it really unfair that she didn't apologize her mistakes or take any responsibility over them. Those mistakes that had hurt me. For 2 weeks we tried to sort things out with the help of our pastor. And on Easter Saturday 2012, we made a deal to wait for 3 months, go to a marriage counselor, and see if the situation could be solved before making any final decisions. It was great. My wife told me to go to my family for Easter, sent her greetings to my family, and she told that she would stay at home and rest. And next day I would go back home and we would see how to proceed. So there was light in the end of the tunnel. Next evening I went back home, but she was gone. She didn't answer her phone. I didn't know where she was. And within a few days, I started to hear disturbing rumors spreading around among our church members. According to these rumors, I was a violent Finnish man who had been beating his wife for 10 years through their marriage. And finally, she had courage to leave. The church had arranged my wife's place to be safe, and they refused to tell me where she was or how could I reach her. I hadn't been a perfect husband, and I had committed some mistakes. One was this big mistake I told you. But I had never beaten anybody in my life. The only time I even punched somebody was at 8th grade, when a bully had been bullying me for 2 years, and finally I had enough and punched him in his stomach. Teacher saw it, gave me a penalty, until she heard the whole story. That punch at the age of 15 was the most violent act of my life. And suddenly I was accused for beating my wife for almost 10 years. So you can imagine how shocked I was. I tried to correct these false accusations. But the rumors had spread already, and for some reason, people in the church seemed to believe the lie. People didn't greet me anymore. Friends at church took distance to me. They didn't let their children to talk to me, stop being in touch with me. Some even left me on Facebook. Pastors, marriage counselors, and leaders of the church abandoned me one by one. When I tried to defend my rights, they turned against me, asked me not to attend the church activities, even Sunday services, and made very clear that I was persona non grata, uninvited. At the same time, my wife kept running away. She acted like another person, cut all her ties to me, my family, our friends, even children, like my sisters and brothers' children, our God's children. And she disappeared. I didn't know what had happened. Why did she leave me? Why was she acting so strange? And within few days I received a letter from the court where she applied for divorce. Nothing made sense to me. What had happened to my wife? Why did she act so strange? Where did these rumors came from? And how could I reach her to find out what's going on? The church didn't tell me anything, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't reach her. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. Nothing made sense, and everything else was collapsing around me. I was going to lose everything: my wife, my home, my company, and as a result, the ability to do something to prevent this. I was losing my strength. Those were the circumstances where I was when I was laying on my bed, unable to raise my hand unable to wake up in the morning, and surrendered my life completely into God's hands. Next time I'm going to share with you what was God's answer when I wanted to know what was going on. See you then.